Welcome to AdvisorFlow, where we explore how smart tech, human behavior, and business growth intersect. I'm your host, Ali Jamal. Today, we are diving into live chat, customer experience, and why real human connection still drives results even in an AI-first world. Joining me is Nelson Bruton, president of Interchanges, who has helped companies generating over 1.4 billion, yes, $1.4 billion in online revenue through smarter engagement and conversion strategies. This is going to be a great conversation. Nelson, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Really excited.
Okay, so let's start with your story. Can you tell us a bit about your journey with your organization and how the company evolved into a leader in the online conversion and live chat space?
Oh, certainly. And I'll even go back. I'll make the story really short, but I'll go back a little further. I got absolutely fascinated with the internet back in the day, many, many years ago, when AOL and Prodigy and CompuServe used to send out those discs, those compact discs in the mail.
Yes. Yes.
20 free hours, 50 free hours, 100 free hours.
Yeah.
I had accounts with all of them. I used all the hours. Absolutely fascinated with the internet, chat rooms, and web crawler and surfing the internet. I knew it was going to change the world, and so I got fascinated. So that's how my story started. That's how I got into the computer world, the marketing world, the digital world, and I've been running Interchanges with a group of partners for over 20 years in the digital marketing space. So that's what got me into it. And it's been quite a ride, I'd say.
Wow, interesting journey. So we are in an age where businesses are chasing automation, AI, and new tech, but often overlook one key asset, human connection. That's something your company really champions. So how do you see the role of human connection playing out in today's online experience?
Yeah, well, let me start there. In the industrial space, the manufacturing space, and what's funny is that's not a niche because there's manufacturing in all sectors of our economy, right? From big machines in the fabrication space to pumps to trucks to small little valves to big valves to small little fasteners. So it touches every part of our lives.
Correct.
I love
Correct.
being in the manufacturing space. And a lot of these companies are, 50, 60, 80, 100, 130, 150 years old. And they're built on relationships.
Yep.
Right. And that's why the human factor, the human touch, especially in the industrial space, is still critically important. It's because these businesses were built on relationships and they continue to thrive on relationships. And so that's why we think, our solution fits so well within that space.
Right. And for companies still relying on static contact form or passive website, what are they missing really? Not embracing live chat or real-time engagement. Are they missing?
I like to keep it real. I like to keep it real simple for this particular question. They're missing opportunities. They're missing sales revenue because people have preferences. And there's really 3 preferences that you can offer the visitors that get to your website. Put your phone number prominently, they can call you. Right. Put a contact form or a quote request form. They can fill that out and wait for you to get back to them.
Yes.
The third capture tool or communication option is offer them live chat.
Yes.
Right. So if you're not offering all 3, the bottom line is this: you're missing out on conversions, which means you're missing out on sales opportunities.
Okay. So let me tell you my own personal experience. I go to various websites. The chat box appears. The very first thing it asks, what is your first name, last name, number, and it pisses me off.
We say, welcome to XYZ company. How can we help you? And it's free form. They can start typing right then and there. So that's a huge and stark contrast from what you just described. And what I like to call is gated chat.
Yeah.
If you can't chat conversation, and the first thing that happens is either they pop up a form where you have to fill in the name, email address, and your question before the chat starts. That's a gate. That's a roadblock. Or if the bot just immediately wants you to become unanonymous, then that's a friction point, as we call it in our world, right? And as I heard a gentleman from the Eaton Corporation at the Industrial Marketing Summit last year, I was on a panel last year, right before my panel, I went and listened to him talk, and he basically said, in regarding, content nowadays, you don't gate your content either. Gates are for cattle. So I was like, I'm going to borrow that, and gates are for cattle. Don't gate your chat. Let people make it easy for people to talk to your company, right?
I like this analogy. Gates are for the cattle. Let's talk about what makes your approach so effective. So you're not just adding a live chat box, you're building a conversion engine powered by real people in smart systems. So
Yep.
what makes Interchanges different in terms of how you approach live chat, or let's call it capture, lead capture?
Yeah, it's a capture tool. It's a capture tool. It's a lead capture tool. And it's even more than that too, because not all of the conversations that we have on a website for our customers are sales leads. Now, our data over 20 plus years, 40% to 70% of the chat transcripts that we send to our customers, they do fall in the sales lead category, 40 to 70%. Outside of that, there's customer service, there's technical documentation requests, there's parts and service requests that come in, right? And oftentimes, because we're dealing, especially on the industrial side, manufacturing chats, that's our brand specifically geared towards the industrial. A lot of those OEMs have manufacturers reps or distributor reps or dealers that sell globally. So they stay focused on manufacturing, and then they have their, dealers or distributors that actually provide the service and the parts. So those opportunities get forwarded to their dealers, for the parts and service for sure. And most of the time for the sales opportunities as well. But the experience really is, what makes us unique, to answer your question. We're real humans 24/7, and my team responds to my customers, visitors within seconds at all hours of the day.
Right. Okay, so what exactly is the workflow? The visitor visit the website, they submit some sort of information about themselves. So you collect this information and then send it to the relevant department within your customer organization. And it could be sales related, it could be customer care related.
Yep. Yeah, and we call that the chat distribution rules. So depending on the type of chat inquiry or conversation that takes place, our customer has already assigned the chat distribution rules with us to say, hey, these type of chats get sent to these people.
Right.
These chats get sent to these people. And then we can also integrate with Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics or HubSpot, whatever CRM system they're using. We can also have the chat data automatically go into their system through an API or a web to lead form as well. But yeah, that happens seamlessly. So the chat finishes, to answer your question, on the website, and within 5 to 10 minutes, the email with the entire chat transcript is hitting the inbox of our customer. And included in that email, in addition to the whole conversation that took place, we also include the visitor journey, which my customers love, which means here's every page that visitor went to during that session on your website.
Right. So they know which page is underutilized, which page to monetize. They have more insight about their customer journey. Very nice.
They have insight on the customer journey and what product pages or solution pages that customer. So before they email them back or call them, they can read the conversation, see what they're interested in, and they can see what pages they visited so they can gauge the interest level and be prepared to talk about those products or solutions when they do get on the phone or the Zoom or the Teams or in-person meeting.
So it's a very good product market fit. I would like to dig in more about some numbers,
Yeah.
Can you walk us through a real world example where Interchanges helped a company significantly improve their online lead conversion?
Yeah, I mean, so I have a few KPIs that are general from 20 years across all of our customers. Whatever your monthly website traffic is of unique sessions or unique visitors, you can take that number and you can multiply it times 1.15%.
1.15%.
Yep.
Okay.
So if it's 10,000 monthly visitors, right?
Yeah.
Let's just do some quick math here. I got my calculator. So 10,000. I should be able to do this in my head times
So
0.015.
1,150. It's very simple.
Well, no, it's 0.015. So it's one
Oh,
point.
okay.
So that's going to be 150 chat conversations that we send to our customer. So if you're listening out in the audience and your website gets 10,000 visitors a month and you don't have a proactive live chat team on your site, then you're missing about 150 conversations per month,
Right.
right? And
So,
then to my numbers earlier, 40% to 70% of those are going to be sales inquiries. So if you just take, conservatively 50% of the 150, that's 75 potential sales that are leaving your website without you capturing them if you don't have a chat communication option on there.
right.
That's big.
And perhaps you would have a lot of data to back this statement, right? Because
Oh,
you're
yes.
working with a lot of manufacturers.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Yeah, all B2B. All our 98% of our customers are business to business, very complex sales, very technical in nature. That's where this solution thrives.
Hmm.
And
So,
it's because the people on the other end, and again, going back to our conversation of humans versus the AI, it's humans still deliver two things that AI does not, asterisk yet, acknowledgement and empathy in every
correct.
situation, right?
Correct.
Acknowledgement and empathy are something that the humans have the edge on that still. And what I like to say in terms of AI, no matter how good the language model is, no matter how well you've programmed your chat bot, it's still at the end of the day an interactive FAQ.
Okay, I
That's all it
totally
is.
agree with you. Is there a specific number of website visitors you consider before recommending a chatbot solution?
Okay, so let me answer it this way. There is a specific number of website visitors before I would suggest that we take that company on as a test run, right? Because we offer a test run to see if it works at no cost, right?
Right.
Before we would take that test run with the company, the minimum threshold we like to see is about 3,000 visitors a month.
Okay.
So if you're doing search engine marketing or ads and you're driving 3,000 visitors a month or more, then it's absolutely worth exploring a test with us. Under
Okay.
3,000 visitors a month, I would recommend, because the chat volume is not going to be high enough to where it's going to overwhelm anybody at your company. Olark is a great software. OLARK, great chat
Right.
software, very low cost. Livechat.com, very low cost chat software. Talk2, TAWK.TO, low cost live chat software. The difference is the company, your company, if you're listening, audience, someone at your company is going to have to be connected to that and be prepared to respond to the pings when somebody wants to chat. If you're under
Right.
3,000 visitors a month, that's the solution I would test. One of those chat softwares where you staff it with you or your team.
Okay.
If
And
you're
if it
over
is above,
3,000, then at that point, you don't want to. The reason that makes sense for over 3,000 is because the chat volume is going to get high enough to where there's a pretty solid chance that at some point in the day, you're going to be too busy to respond quickly to that visitor, and you're going to create a negative customer experience by creating a lengthy response time or no response time.
yes,
And that's what our value is that response time guaranteed within seconds, 24/7. You know what I mean?
yes. So, how important is this response time? So you have a chatbot. The chatbot collects some information. It goes to the backend. Basically, your customer, they don't respond in,
Yeah.
let's say, 12 hours. How it impacts their business.
So there's two response times here. So the first thing is response time during the chat. It's
Yeah.
absolutely critical. If you can't respond within seconds, don't even put chat on your website because the negative experience it creates isn't even worth having it. So if you
Right.
can't respond within seconds, now the chat bot, you can test it. You will get some results from a chat bot. There will be some people that put up with the friction and go through that name, email just to chat, but it's going to be a very, very low volume of people who actually do that. And one of my challenges in my business development is people that have tried something like that and not seen great results. They're like, "Oh, we've tried chat before." You haven't. You haven't done it right. You know what I mean? So you can try a chat bot. The best thing, the better than that is staffing it yourself. The next better than that is have a dedicated team like mine that's going to respond within seconds all hours of the day, and you're not going to miss any opportunities, right? So
Okay.
those are kind of the different options that you have to kind of weigh and kind of see what fits for you. But definitely start testing. If
Okay.
you're driving traffic, start testing.
Which means that web response time is very, very important. Okay.
Yes. So let me answer. So the second part of that question, I'm sorry. The second part of that question is web lead response time. So if somebody fills out a form on your website, or if they have a chat and that chat transcript gets sent to you, how quickly do you respond to that opportunity?
Right.
MIT did research with inside sales years ago, many years ago, probably like 9 or 10 years ago. But it was an intensive study and research project. And they found out that if you don't respond to web inquiries within an hour, you're 6 times less likely to put that opportunity into your sales pipeline.
Wow,
So
that's a big loss. That's a
it's a
very
big
huge.
loss. Yeah, that after an hour, it's significant. So gets emailed to your inbox or to your sales team's inbox. Make sure that you have a system in place to respond to that inquiry within an hour. That should be everybody's goal who's listening. And if you can't, if for some reason your company is built in such a way to where people are busy, you're overwhelmed, whatever the reason, make sure you have an autoresponder when they fill out a form that says, hey, we get a lot of inquiries, we're very busy, it's a busy season, someone will be in touch with you within 24 hours. Set an expectation and then meet or exceed that expectation.
Right. So statistically, do you have any data from your customers that how many actually respond within, a 6 hours time
Some
frame?
do,
Do you
some
do
don't.
you collect this kind of
No.
okay.
No, we always have this conversation with them and talk through them the importance of response time for all of the leads that are coming in from their website. But that's something that we don't control or get involved in. And some of our customers tell us right away that they're not going to be able to. So what we do is we make sure that we end our chat conversations with the appropriate expectation. So if somebody has a chat, for example, during business hours, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Hey, great. Thanks for all the information and the questions. One of our team members will be back in touch with you as soon as possible. Well, if that comes in after hours, like 7 p.m. Eastern, we finish by saying one of our team members or one of our experts will be in touch with you as soon as possible the next business day.
Right. So you're still
Or,
interacting with the customer
yes,
so that they don't feel like that they are left out. Okay.
yeah, they have some idea when they're going to get responded to, right? And if our customers tell us during our onboarding process that, it takes them, there's a whole process they have to follow. It goes to the CRM, then it gets distributed. It takes them, 12 to 24 hours to respond. Then we're going to end the chat by saying, hey, due to the inquiries and our processes, please give us up to 24 hours or 48 hours to respond. We
Right.
set that expectation. And as long as you set an expectation and meet or exceed it, generally the people on the other end are going to be okay with that.
Very true. Very true. Okay. So let's fast forward a bit. So other companies, in fact, everyone's talking about AI replacing people, but I think your philosophy is that tech should support human roles, not eliminate them. So
Correct.
where do you see the balance between automation, human interaction heading in the next 2 to 3 years? Is there a sweet spot companies should aim for?
So Jacob Morgan, I like to use a quote from Jacob Morgan. He wrote The Future Leader: 9 Skills and Mindsets to Succeed in the Next Decade. He basically says AI should free human beings from repetitive, uncreative drudgery, leaving leaders the challenge of putting people to work in jobs that are worth doing. And basically he says automation should not replace human beings, rather it should empower them to solve problems. So I think that's the key thing to focus on. AI should empower people to solve problems better and faster.
Right, right. Completely agreed. Let's shift this conversation into the business side, the
Mhm.
growth, the lead gen, and how you stay competitive. So,
Mhm.
what does growth look like for Interchanges over the next 6 to 12 months?
Absolutely. So let me if I do want to answer that because there's some exciting stuff we have going on, but I do want to touch on one thing that we didn't quite get into that's critical, that is a common misconception about chat in a business, live chat in a business. And that's the ROLE of a chat team on your website.
Right,
Most people, when they think of, okay, I'm going to consider putting a live chat on my website, what's the next thought that goes to their head? how do we train the people or the chatbot to answer every single question that could possibly be asked?
That is the natural question which comes into
Yep.
everybody's
Right.
mind. Yes.
Yep. And there's a
Train the model.
huge
Train the model.
train the
Use
models.
small, yes.
Yep.
Use
And I'm
everything.
going to throw a big X and say, no, that is not what you need to be thinking. Chat is a top of funnel exercise. And what I mean by that is if you're a complex business, industrial for sure, but any B2B business where you have a complex sales process where you have to specify and go through some engineering or prototyping, you do not want your sales process or technical conversations taking place in a chat window on your website, right?
Yeah.
You want those conversations taking place in in-person meetings, Zoom, Teams, Zoom, right?
Yes, the human interaction matters. Yes.
Human interaction. There's a sales process you already have in your company that you follow, you and your experts get involved in, and you have processes and people that are experts to handle those designed processes for sales and quote processes that you have, right?
Right.
So don't try to do that in the chat. Don't try to answer every question. So our quick little pitch on this is our chat teams are experts at finding out who the visitor is, where they are, the contact information, and a couple of top level questions, qualification questions about the project or the application that visitor is working on. And that's it.
So basically, you're at the top of the funnel, you're collecting some information, you're trying to find out who the target audience is, whether it is related to the sales, marketing, product, what it is, and then let the relevant department respond, to that information.
Who are you? Where are you? What company are you with? And tell us some information about what project you're working on or what product you think you need. And then, all right, great. Thanks for that information. One of our experts will be able to help you more. Is there anything else you'd like to share about that project? Right. And then one of the things that we do that's really unique is our chat script playbook that we develop for our individual customers, they're iterative. So as they see the chat transcripts come through, we can improve the script playbook and get it better and better and better as long as our customers are giving us feedback. But we still caution against trying to get our team too far in the weeds. Your team needs to be in the weeds, not our team. So what's the best engagement we can do where we can collect the most information so that when we send that chat to your team, they're super prepared to follow up accordingly, right?
Right.
I think that's a really important thing.
Makes perfect sense. Nelson, what are the biggest challenges you're seeing when it comes to generating consistent, high-quality leads for your solution?
We always want more. More people need to know we exist, right? And then the layer of challenge for us is, it's an educational process because they have preconceived notions. They don't know a company like us exists because they know chatbots exist and they know chat software exists.
Correct.
But we're a SaaS plus service, right? Because we have our chat software, which is the SaaS, but we also have the service because we have people in call centers. So we provide that service as well. So really, brand awareness is our biggest challenge. You know what I mean? So I try to go to as many trade shows and speak and teach workshops. We do email campaigns. So we do all the stuff to let people, hey, we exist over here and we can add value to you because we add value to your peers.
So, Nelson, this has been a really powerful conversation. You have shown us that conversion isn't just about automation or analytics. The human element adds so much value. For listeners who want to learn more about Interchanges or connect with you directly, where should they go?
Easy place. Find me on LinkedIn. Reach out. Say hello. Nelson Bruton, Bruton. Or you can go to interchanges.com. Or if you're in the industrial space, you can go to manufacturingchats.com, CHATS.com.
Are you really active on LinkedIn?
Oh, yes, very much so. Very much so. And we've just hired a new social media person. I hope to have lots more content going out. And I try to get on as many podcasts as I can when people will have me. So once again, appreciate you having me on your show, Ali.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Sure. So a big thank you to Nelson Bruton for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who is looking to turn their online presence into a true growth engine. Until next time, this is Ali Jamal signing off.